Ramos Law serves people. We make the world a better place. We put people ahead of anything else. It's my name on this business. It's my face on the billboards. And what you don't see through any of that stuff is you don't see my heart. We've built this family, this Ramos Law family, in a way that will include you. And hopefully by the end of our representation, you also feel part of the Ramos Law family. I look forward to taking care of you.
Good morning, my friends. It is Monday. Welcome to Peaks to Plains Weather. Got the Woody's Brew from American Classic Coffee in here today. And welcome to a new week here as we get set to sort of, do the last week or so of August here. And we still got summertime weather happening, even though the kids are back in school and all of that. Thanks for starting your Monday here with me on Mornings with Meister. I sure do appreciate it. And let's do a little bit of a recap of what happened yesterday. Temperatures ahead of storms. Still pretty toasty out there, no doubt about that. Flirted with 100 in a couple spots in the southeastern corner. Otherwise, lots of 90s. On the river and out near Kansas. Colorado Springs got to 90 in a couple of neighborhoods, officially 89. And we had 80s on the Mountain Valley floors. I had quite a few 70s up above that as you started getting up in elevation a little bit. And it was another day of some active weather. Sun came up yesterday morning behind the storms that we had. Saturday night in the Pikes Peak region had low clouds for a few hours. You can see this in our view from Woodman Heights. And then storms fired up in the afternoon. Had some flash flood warnings yesterday. One of them over the southeast side of the Colorado Springs metro area and just to the east of town. Also had a couple that were issued for the Aspen Acres fire. Thankfully, no major flooding issues were reported yesterday. But if you got hit by one of the storms, and there went one of them over town, they put down some decent rain. And so we've been seeing this the last number of days here. You get one of the storms in the afternoon, an easy ½ to an inch or more of rain, and you see the bright green spots here, including the areas where we had the flash flood warnings yesterday off to the southeast of Colorado Springs here. That's where we had a flash flood warning. Some areas got more than 2 inches. And over the Aspen Acres burn, we had some flash flood warnings issued. Nice little pocket of some rain yesterday, kind of on the Los Animas, Bent, Prowers, and Baca County line yesterday. Here's hoping at some point in the last few days that you had some rain. My buddy John Tomke in Crowley County, he let me know that he had more than a ½ inch yesterday, so that's certainly some good news. Like I said, no severe weather reports Sunday. But as we transition into today and the next couple of days, still the threat for heavy rain. So we are still watching the Aspen Acres fire, and we will continue to do that. Those of you in the area have done a really good job of staying diligent. And so, we'll pay attention there. Clinton's checking in this morning. He says there was flash flooding in the creeks between Howard and Browns Canyon. And so in Chaffee County, some rain coming down yesterday, something to be aware of. Thanks for letting us know about that. Clinton, I appreciate it. As you saw in the National Weather Service reports, nothing significant or, that got severe enough, I guess, to put in there. But Clinton, I appreciate you keeping an eye on us there in Chaffee County. All right, let's transition to what's happening outside this morning because as we get our Monday underway, it's pretty comfortable outside. Temperatures are ranging from the 40s in some of the mountain valleys to a few low 70s out there up against the hills. Look at that alpenglow there on Pikes Peak, back toward Garden of the Gods there from Kissing Camels this morning, where it is a really, really nice start to the day. 72 is about as warm as I can find out there. We are mainly ranging from, look at Alamosa, 41. By the way, Adams State, they are ranked second in the country here heading into preseason girls cross country, so that's pretty cool. We had the Cheyenne Stampede, the pre-state meet, they call it, where all of the high schoolers get to run on the state cross country course. That was on Saturday in Colorado Springs. Hundreds of teams were here for that. Football started Friday evening. There were a couple games Thursday even. Went out to a flag football game myself on Saturday. Soccer's underway. We got girls softball underway. So, we're just full into kind of fall activities here, my friends. And we'll notice over the next few weeks that temperatures kind of getting maybe cooler and cooler as the mornings begin with longer and longer night times. Yeah. If you're not excited about that, the afternoons still have some summer weather for you. Pueblo, good morning. It's 59 as we get underway. First view out on the plains. Sun coming up on the eastern horizon there, 63. The current number, Trinidad. Man, what happened to my camera there? Let's see. Let's load that bad boy up. There we go. Just taking a little bit. Some of the CDOT cameras. Man, CDOT cameras, they're old cameras. They're working on doing some upgrades, but they're not doing it fast enough for me. In Denver this morning, if you're traveling up there, heading for some business, no issues getting around here through the mornings. And that'll be the case the next few days. Mornings will be nice. It's the afternoons that are going to be busy. Up over the hills, Woodland Park, we are 56 this morning. And at Wolf Creek, 48. We got to get that camera straightened out at Wolf Creek before we get into the winter and we get some snow on the way. Kevin's checking in this morning from Rocky Ford. He had 0.12 of an inch of rain. Cocoa Raz gauge this morning. Kevin will be reporting that. Everybody's supposed to do that by about 7 o'clock. Kevin, thanks for being a Cocoa Raz observer. It is very, very useful information. And I've got that integrated into my system now. It doesn't really time out well for my morning show here because, everybody's still putting their reports in. But, when there's some interesting things to point out, I'll do that on social media, on the blogs, on peakstoplainsweather.com. All right, let's jump into the forecast for today because it is going to be another active day of some weather here. So we start off on the sky scan early this morning. Things are pretty quiet. As we widen the view, though, take a look at the big picture because that's what drives what happens out the front door. You can see the southwest flow over the U.S. That is the big high pressure that drives the monsoon this time of year that we've still got going. There's some thunderstorms over Arizona early this morning. So rotating clockwise around that high, there are some areas of thicker moisture. I've colorized the waves on here for you, and both of those are going to impact us in Colorado the next few days. So mornings, if you need to avoid storms, is the time to do things outside. Today will be a little bit of a late show. And what I mean by that is I think we're pretty quiet over the plains until after 3 o'clock. Mountain areas will start to see things really fire up after about 1 today. And I think the mountains are the trigger for storms today. It's not one of the days where I think we get much in the way of activity just developing over the plains. We'll have to watch them move in from the west here as we head into the late afternoon and evening. And like the last few days, the strongest storms will put down 1/2 inch to 1 inch or more of rain. They'll have some gusty wind as well, some gusts between 40 and 55 miles per hour. There may be some wet microbursts with some of the storms. We'll watch for that. We've had some of those the last couple of days, and we'll deal with that the next few days as well. Into the evening, the activity starts to lose intensity a little bit as you lose the heating of the sun. But with a little bit of a later start today, I think we keep things around into early Tuesday morning and a couple storms maybe still continuing over the mountains. High temperatures today are really, really close to yesterday across the board, whether you're high up in the mountains, whether you're on the valley floors, whether you're out across the plains. So again, in a few spots, we're flirting with 100 out there today. Tomorrow over the eastern plains will come down a little bit late in the day. There's a front that comes in late, and that actually makes our severe weather chances a little bit better tomorrow, especially out across the far eastern plains into the evening as the front arrives. And for Wednesday, we're going to be active here the next few days. Wednesday might be the strongest day in terms of like severe weather, where maybe we have the best chance of catching some hail around 1 inch in diameter and some of those wind gusts that'll be up around 60 miles per hour. I think it gets a little bit better with the arrival of the front. But, we're not going to let the guard down the next couple of days this afternoon. There might be a storm, kind of like we had yesterday. We had a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, but no reports of severe weather. So kind of up on the low end of things and then maybe getting a little bit better for the middle of the week. Big difference between, from a timing perspective, today and tomorrow is the storms are going to fire up a couple hours earlier. And there might be some storms over the plains that develop tomorrow because that front's coming in. So those are the kind of two differences. And again, you see the strongest storms here on Skycast. There's red in there. right? That's showing you the heavy rain potential. Things kind of moving off to the east, maybe east-southeast as we move into the back part of the day. Earlier start means an earlier end up against the cities. You can use that for planning purposes, but you see things are still kind of rolling east as we head through the afternoon into the evening. So, like what we saw over the weekend, if you get under a storm, pretty significant. In fact, Kathleen says, wow, I had one of those Saturday night in Fairfax. Yeah, some folks getting them Saturday, some getting them yesterday. So we're trying to spread it out to different areas on different days across different neighborhoods. Speaking of neighborhoods, we have some amazing ones here in Southern Colorado, as you all know. And I haven't checked in with her in a little bit. I want to check in with my friend, Kathy Skaggs from Diligent Homes. She's going to talk about kind of how things are changing in our real estate market. And after that, we'll have the extended forecast. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together.
Do you really understand today's real estate market, or are you allowing the loudest headlines to make your decisions? Warren Buffett famously said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." Now, he was talking about investing, and buying a home is not exactly the same as buying a stock, but the principle still matters. Some of the best opportunities appear when other people are nervous, hesitant, or waiting for perfect conditions. Hi, I'm Kathy Skaggs, real estate advisor with Diligent Homes. So, what is the real estate market actually doing? Nationally, home sales remain slower because affordability and mortgage rates continue to challenge buyers. Yet home values have not collapsed. In June, the national median existing home price reached approximately $441,000. That's 1.8% higher than a year ago. Buyers also had 4.6 months of inventory to choose from, giving them more options and, in many markets, more negotiating room. Locally, Colorado Springs is giving buyers opportunities we have not had in several years. Homes are generally taking longer to sell, inventory has increased, and sellers may be more willing to discuss price, repairs, closing costs, or an interest rate buy-down. Recent data shows a median sale price near $450K, with homes averaging approximately 43 days on the market. But here is what matters most. What is happening in your neighborhood? The market in Flying Horse can be completely different than Colorado City or Security Widefield, and conditions like price range or school district can completely change the market. This is why I study three things: the national trends, the Colorado Springs market, and the specific things happening around your home. The right question is not simply, is this a good market? But the better question is, where is the opportunity for me in this market? Whether you are considering buying, selling, or simply want to understand what is happening in your neighborhood, call or text me at 719-822-1855, and let's replace the headlines with information that actually applies to you. Remember, Diligent brings you home.
Thank you, Kathy. I sure do appreciate that. She is great. She and I had coffee the other week, and I just love her heart. It is so good. And she's one of our partners on Peaks to Plains Weather, and we have some amazing ones. I invite you to check them out on our website, peakstoplainsweather.com. When you have purchasing decisions to make, we support small business. We are a small business, and that's one of the ways that you can support Peaks to Plains Weather. Crew, I will be right back with our extended forecast. Don't go anywhere. It's Monday morning. It is 6:46. You are on Peaks to Plains Weather. Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&B Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
Hey Peaks to Plains viewers, this is John over here at Petrali Roofing. It's hail season here in Colorado, and you might think that your roof doesn't have hail damage, but think again. Hail damage is hard to spot from the ground. That's why Petrali Roofing does free 21-point inspections. Give us a call today. We'll come out and take a look. And if we do find hail damage and your roof qualifies for a re-roof, you'll get $250 off if you choose us to do that installation. So give us a call today, 719-375-8773. Have us come out, take a look today.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Employee pricing is over, but at Phil Long Ford in Motor City, American value still means something. Colorado's best season, Phil Long's biggest discounts of the year, 0% financing, no payments for 90 days. And I'll throw $1,000 towards your down payment. Plus, get a complimentary 2-year premium maintenance plan.
That's the Phil Long way.
We'll beat any deal by $750, and we'll prove it. Only at the original Ford store in Motor City.
All right, so what you need to know here about the extended forecast is that as long as we have this high pressure around, even though it's going to be meandering a little bit, we'll be talking about the monsoon as we head into September, and it looks like we're going to keep that high around, partly due to the El Nino that we've got. It is already classified as strong. Over the weekend, I did an update about that. You can find it on the 24-hour channel. It runs through in our programming wheel there. You can find it on YouTube. I've got a link up on social media as well. And I also talk about, in that El Nino, what I expect across Colorado, what is more likely because of El Nino and what isn't. That's also as important, like where are the correlations stronger than some other places. But you see the clockwise flow here with the high. Now, over the next week and a half, the high will move a little bit. So we'll get some stretches here where it breaks down a touch and where the tap from coming up here from the south of the moisture from the Pacific Ocean and from the Gulf aren't as good as some other days. So there's a little bit of an ebb and flow in there, and we'll watch that here as we move through the rest of the week, into the weekend, and even into early next week. So in terms of where we are going to see best chances of storms, you know, it's underneath this plume, and you can see that it's curling into Colorado. It was over the weekend. We'll do that through the middle of the week here. Then with time, things will change up a little bit. Like what we saw over the weekend, if you get underneath some of these storms here, we will have some pretty hefty rain. And in the afternoons and evenings, that's when it'll be most likely. That's when we pull that moisture upward through the storms. That's kind of the blue that you see on the water vapor there. And then that, you know, impacts us in a pretty big way. And you look at a couple different computer models here through Thursday, and there are different blobs in different areas. And when I say blobs, I kind of focus on the green. That's how I built my color tables here. You know, but what both of these models are trying to show is that the scattering of storms will bring heavy rain if you get caught by one of them. And you know that over the weekend if you were under one of these storms. So let's talk about what happens here kind of in the long term. So let me take you from Thursday forward, because Thursday is probably our last sort of real busy day in a while here, as we thin the moisture out a touch into the weekend. And part of that is because the high shifts a little bit. But as we move into early next week, it ends up off to the southeast. And so we'll keep a tap going around. So I think we get a little less storms Friday and Saturday, but then we head into early next week and we've got that tap again. And so we'll get a few more active days. Then the high kind of starts to move from the southeastern U.S. and reestablishes back here. And we probably break the flow up a little bit again for the middle of next week, and we get a couple dry days in there. Now we're looking into the start of September here, and we are farther out into the future, right? That's 9-10 days away. Could things change? Yes. But that's the pattern. And that's what I'm watching for, the large scale pattern when I'm doing my extended forecast. Can I drill down to like a neighborhood level in the data, in the computer models? Yes. Is that a fool's errand? A little bit. So I'm kind of watching the ebbs and flows. Now, over the mountains, I don't think we totally get rid of storm chances any day here. But there's little stretches where we'll be a little more likely to catch storms than others, and we'll kind of take that day by day. Colorado Springs, you know, late in the week, I think our chances get a little bit less. Do they go away? No. But then into early next week, we're still keeping that flow around. So we'll have to watch that. Pueblo, some storms around the next couple of days. Parts of the plains the next couple of days. Does it mean that each neighborhood's going to get them? No, obviously not. I mean, you get that, right? Like, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But again, the headlines of what you need to be aware of here is that if you get caught by a storm the next couple of afternoons, you will get some heavy rain. So again, the timing, if some of you coming in and out here, I know that's what happens in the morning. Some folks got to get out to work. Let me go over that before we sort of wrap things up here today. It'll be a little bit later today than it was yesterday, and then it will be tomorrow. So you see that timing, we keep things around on the plains into the late evening and maybe even early morning hours of Tuesday. Tomorrow, things are a little bit different. That's because we have a front coming into the plains during the afternoon. So unlike today where storms need the mountains to develop, tomorrow there may be some that form over the plains. I think it's a little earlier show tomorrow. That means things will end a little bit earlier, but you see some of the effects of that front out across the plains. And as we head into the middle of the week, with the front bringing a little bit more low-level moisture, maybe a little bit better chance of some severe thunderstorm warnings both Tuesday and Wednesday compared to today. Doesn't mean we won't have any today, and if we get one, it'll be for some gusty wind. So we'll pay attention to that. The other thing we have to watch, and those of you that live in and near the Aspen Acres fire, you've been doing a real good job of being diligent. There's a flash flood watch up again today. We'll probably have one tomorrow, probably have one Wednesday. Again, is sort of my hunch here, what my friends at the Weather Service will do, because the Aspen Acres fire could catch a strong storm here the next couple of days. So that's it on this Monday morning. It is 6:53. That's what I've got for you. Keep Peaks to Plains weather close in the afternoon. We'll give you digital shoulder taps if something strong is coming your way, or if we're doing some live coverage for where you are. We'll be pushing things on social media as well. The 24-hour channel is available for you in the app 24 hours a day. See what I did there? We didn't overthink it. Crew, this is Peaks to Plains Weather. Have a wonderful Monday. I am Matt Meister. Thanks for stopping by. Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together.
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.